Are you in the mood for some trivia? I think we should do it. Let's go. Disney trivia time. Disney Trivia Minute. It is time to test our team on some of the most insightful of questions. This time around, we are focused on Disney film. That's right, Disney film questions. Animation, to be specific. We are going to start with a question straight out of Tangled.
Ooh.
I know. How long is Rapunzel's hair? A, 50 feet, B, 70 feet, or C, 80 feet? We will start with Katrina. How long is Rapunzel's hair?
Shoot, I don't remember.
Here comes the dissertation.
I was dancing until I saw the question.
I was like, burr, 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 burr. Okay, you know what? I don't even know. I'm going to go 70 because it sounds good.
70
because it looks like
good.
a flowing lock of hair.
Okay. Garrett, how long is Rapunzel's hair? 50 feet, 70 feet, 80 feet?
I'm putting on my thinking cap right now.
Is that what that is?
And
Wow.
No.
Oh.
That's what I found. So they do a French braid in the kingdom, and I see how they overlap it. If you do the average rate of a hair, okay, I'm gonna say 50. 50 feet sounds good. 70 sounds a bit extreme. 50 sounds right.
I saw it on like Twitter the other day too.
Oh, did you?
I
Wow.
literally saw it on Twitter.
It's out there. It's in the ether now. My goodness.
50. 50 indeed.
Oh,
What's happening? Oh,
I just had to. Okay.
not quite 50 feet, but it'll do. Your thinking cap there. How long is Rapunzel's hair, Tyler? 50 feet, 70 feet, 80 feet?
I think I'm going to go with 70 feet too because
70?
I don't know. I just sounds right. I don't know. I feel like I could see them being like, "Hey, people like that number 7. It's like a lucky number.
Just
So
like
let's
her
go with
hair.
70."
All right.
And also that tower, like
It's really high.
it's really a
I
tall
don't really
tower.
know how high 50 feet is, to be
it's-
honest, visually. So who knows?
Flynn Rider's got to be at least 40 feet tall. So
Sorry, he's a giant.
yeah, 70.
70 feet, final answer.
Yeah.
And producer Tony, you're off camera, but how long is
Yo,
Rapunzel's
homie, it's
hair?
Tony.
50 feet, 70 feet, or 80 feet?
I just like to say 50,
50?
so I'm going to say 50 feet.
50 feet,
50
he
feet.
says.
Be up in the club
Like that, like you do.
like 50 Cent.
Right, I caught the reference. Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, when it comes to how long Rapunzel's hair is, it is, in fact, B, 70 feet.
Yes.
Yay.
Scoop, you love that?
I always lose.
You do. You do always lose.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes you win, but you mostly lose.
Yeah, man. Would tear me down when I'm even lower.
I tear you down to build you back up.
It's true.
That's what it's all
I don't know
about.
if that's true.
It is a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Hey friends, Wade for the Kingdom Report, back with you again to cover all the latest Disney news from coast to coast. But before we get there, you know we love rewarding you for watching or listening to this show. All you got to do to win your very own copy of my new book, Standalone, The Walt Disney Way, is leave the phrase that pays underneath this very video. Right after the live show is over, head into the comments section and leave the phrase EPCOT Forever. EPCOT Forever is the phrase that pays this week. Yet between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter, if you are the winner, we will reach out to you and get this book shipped your direction, all by leaving EPCOT Forever in the comment section beneath this video right after the live show. Or if you can't wait, head on over to Amazon and pick up a copy of Standalone, The Walt Disney Way right now. Disneyland news is coming your way. We're going to be covering how the rollout of 60 new menu items at Disneyland, well, it's making the way for sort of an unannounced food festival. Also, a long broken element of a classic Disneyland attraction is finally getting some TLC. We'll fill you in on that. 2026 ticket prices, especially when it comes to Walt Disney World, well, they are going up. I think there's one constant in life, and that is ticket prices going up at Disney parks. Plus, the adults-only Disney Bar at EPCOT is coming to fruition and will be in our lives sooner than we think. Plus, an ex-Disney worker has received 3 years in prison for what exactly? We're going to talk about all of it. And in addition to that, Garrett Hassel's very own father-in-law recently dropped in to Shanghai Disneyland. And, well, he has sent some dispatches from Shanghai to share with us exactly what it's like on the ground there. A park that many domestic park goers only dream of visiting and often wonder about. We have lots of video content to share with you, lots of descriptions to provide, and so much discussion around Disney news from coast to coast and beyond. I'm Wade Heath, and it is great to have you with us because this edition of Disney News Talk Live, well, it begins for you next. Disney News Talk Live. The Disney News Talk Live show is on the air, and we are so grateful to have you with us. Everybody has mentioned Wade here at the top of the broadcast. So good to be back with you as we kick off another week of Disney in Review from Disneyland to Disney World and beyond. So much news, so many updates to share with you. We can't wait to dive in. Who is we? You might be asking. Well, we are running without Tyler Crouch this week. Unfortunately, not able to join us. Still out there on the campaign trail, as I understand it, trying to get those votes to become Disney CEO. But we are joined by his better half, our travel agent in residency, Katrina Manzone, and alongside her, our reporter for the Kingdom Report, Mr. Garrett Hassel. Hey, you two.
Well, hello,
Hi.
Mr. Heath, and hello, Katrina.
Hi, welcome back. It's been a minute. It's been
It's been a-
beat.
It's been a hot second. Yeah, it's been
Little
a little bit. I've been working on my tan, been hitting the gym, doing that GTL. That lifestyle doesn't wait for you. You gotta go after it.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm busy,
Lots of tanning
just
going on.
helping Tyler, on that campaign trail.
Mm-hmm. While he's campaigning, I'm getting swole. So if anyone tries to mess with him in the parks, I
Right.
got his back because apparently
Bodyguard.
I'm really scary, and that's why no one ever approaches me if they ever see me in the parks because
Oh,
I'm too
no.
intimidating. Even though
No.
I'm just a big
Big
old.
teddy bear.
I know, but is it my hair? Is the hair intimidating? I don't know, but
I mean, you're
but
very
yeah.
tall.
I'm only
But you're
6'2". I
about
don't
like
think
me.
that's
That
tall.
is very
Oh.
scary. You could
Okay.
just trample over me because you can't even
Well-
see me from up there.
But Ariel's even shorter. She's like 3'11".
Oh my goodness! Put her in your pocket, little Thumbelina.
I actually put her in a backpack, and she becomes my my Yoda. And
gosh.
and we go running through swamps in Florida doing front flips, or she can be Grogu. Either way, she gets the chicky nug nugs.
Well, you
Adorable.
saw Katrina at the wedding. He had to pick her up off the ground in order to give her a kiss at the end.
That's true. He's
Right?
Like, I
He had to
can't bend down
lift
that far.
her. Right, he had to lift her,
It's like
put
an
her on a
outworkout.
platform just to lean
Mhm.
in to seal the deal.
I said I don't bend down for nobody. You come up to my level. That's right.
That's for darn sure.
That's
well,
right.
we do miss our Tyler Crouch, though, and yes, people are very
Yeah, we do.
intimidated to approach you, Garrett, in person. I think you are larger than people expect in person. And,
Okay.
Tyler, though, very lovable, very approachable. That is why he's on that campaign trail, because
That's right.
you got to vote for him as CEO. Why?
Get back.
He ain't Chapek. That's right. He ain't Chapek.
How many
Heck
years
of
has it been
catchphrase.
since Chapek's been around? Actually, now I think it's been at least 2 or 3. But he's always relevant in our minds.
It's
true.
true. He's he will never I don't
go
think
away.
we will ever forget him. Right.
Uh-uh.
He will always be a part of the Disney zeitgeist, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So you can expect it. But I wanted to kick things off this week by asking y'all this question. If you think about the Disneyland Resort, California Adventure, Disneyland Park, say you only had time to do 3 attractions. Either park, 3 attractions, you could only do 3. What 3 come to mind? Garrett, let's start with you.
Well, you got to go for a classic always. So Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is probably at the top of that list.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I was gonna do too.
because I'm so glad he chose me first. No, That's just a little for those that are new to the show. If you ever see Tyler, as a CEO, he should be accommodating of all guests, and that means going on his favorite attraction, which is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. No, he absolutely detests that thing. But the new sort of upgrades they're getting with Grogu and Mando in there, I'm down for that. It looks pretty cool. We'll see where it goes though. But
have him talk about that in the next show of what the upgrades are going to be like and how we feel.
Yeah, nothing quite says we are having fun when a 10-year-old's trying to give you, a headache or concussion by having you hit everything like in the video. But for the actual question, I've got to go. I'm going to do 2 at Disneyland, 1 at California Adventure. So first one is Pirates of the Caribbean. This is the ride that I think it is to me, it doesn't matter that it's 50 plus years old. It is the perfect Disney attraction. It has everything. It has it's a fast queue, which gets through a ton of guests. It has some of the best storytelling and the best audio animatronics ever. And even if they change certain scenes like the auction, it still just is always a hit. I feel like every time I go in there, you're always seeing something new that you maybe didn't see the first time. And it's just so amazing. I don't know. It's better than Disney World's version, hands down. The only one that I think, Disney World version is shorter and it doesn't have the bayou scene and it doesn't involve you going up a waterfall at the end. I don't know anyone else that does, and so it's just phenomenal across the board. And that is what made me originally want to be an Imagineer until it failed Calculus 2. Then I thought maybe math isn't my strong suit, but that's my first one. I want to then cut across to DCA, and for this one, it's hard to really pick, but I gotta go Midway Mania. Midway Mania is just it's so much fun. And it's interactive. It uses 3D elements where you can be engaged. It's like Pirates, the action's happening around you. While this one, you are making it all happen. So Midway Mania is going to be my second choice, and then my third choice, we're going back to Disneyland.
You're jumping around a lot here.
I am jumping around. Listen. This is when the parks first opened, I would do this. I'd go into DC, I'd go into Disneyland. Then when DC opened at 10 a.m. or whatever, I'd shoot over there and I'd be going back and forth. I probably gotten 20 miles of walking just from the back and forth, because that's what you do. But it's so hard to pick. But I'm gonna pick the Disneyland Railroad. Is that an attraction? I'm calling it an attraction. To me, it is. You get on at Main Street, you do the Grand Circle tour around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom, and you just end with a phenomenal, world's largest diorama, and you get to see what happened in the Grand Canyon. And the music is stuck in my head, that da 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 da, and then da da da, the fight at the end. So Pirates, Midway, and then the train. Whether you do it day or nighttime, it's good anytime. And if you get lucky, sometimes you'll see the parade performers out there waving at you.
Is the Disneyland Railroad an attraction? What's wrong with you? Of course.
Some people consider the non-purists consider it to be a waste of time, and to those people, I say please leave.
No.
But yeah, it is definitely an attraction for sure.
I will say it was really cool to do it at nighttime when I know the Main Street Electrical Parade, we all have feelings about it. But when the Main Street Electrical Parade was there and you're riding the train by, it was actually really cool to see them in the back area getting ready by Small Worlds.
Oh, that does sound
It was really fascinating. So now we're getting,
nice.
The 70th nighttime parade. So now people can try to see it that time.
Oh, cool.
Paint the night.
So many opportunities to experience a little something extra there. And Katrina, you also have a list, no doubt. Are you hopping around like Garrett? Is it all staying one park specific? What does it look like?
Oh, man, I was racking my brain on this one. And I'm like, if it was 3 attractions that I never really get to do, that I do love riding, It's probably just gonna stay at Disneyland because DCA we hang out there too much. So when we see like downtime in the app, we just like pop over there and go write stuff. So I would have to agree with Garrett and say Pirates. You get the bang for your buck. It's a 15-minute ride. It's very nice. You get to relax, enjoy the music, and then you get some, adrenaline rush as you go see Pirates, and you're like, am I gonna make it out alive? I don't know. And then so that's one. Then I would probably say Big Thunder Mountain, just because it's a classic. I don't know. It's always fun. I always love the end when they redid it, so that was really great. And we never really ride it that often anymore because the line's so long. And then probably my third. That's a tough one. It's like my third is do I want to go ultra classic and be like Small World? Because I would have to specify. I would do Small World.
It is the best. It is the best one
during the holidays. That would be like my third one. All the other times would probably be like a Fantasyland ride, like
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah, right. Like Snow White, Mr. Toad's. Yeah, those are my three. What are your three?
I would tell you that certainly it feels like something has to come from the heart of the park here in Fantasyland for me. I think that there's something to be said about the Storybook Land canal boats.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Right? Charming. It tells such a great story, multiple stories in one. It's in the heart of the park. It does feel like you get taken away to somewhere else that's really special. And, even though you're on these tiny little boats, right? Even though a lot of people would sort of, I think, assume it's a kiddie type ride. I think a lot of people would classify it as such.
Sure.
To me, I feel like its story tells the best out of most attractions. And you get the live skipper, right? You got the live boat pilot there with you. And I don't know, there's so much charm held in old Disneyland within that one attraction to me. So I think that one's really special.
Now, Wade, when you go on Storybook Land Canal, do you prefer morning, afternoon, or night? Because I think they each have a different kind of experience.
That's a great question. I feel like it is so much more captivating at night because all of the little lands that you visit throughout Storybook Land are lit up in their own special way. And if you can time it right and do it during the fireworks, incredible. Incredible. It's like a postcard. It's like being in a Disney commercial is what that is. It's incredible.
I think it's often skipped. Like people will go by Storybook Land Canal and just be like, they'll see Monstro and they'll be like, what is that? They're like, why is there a fish there? And it's like, it's a whale. It's a whale. And
a fish.
Yeah. Well, and I think, getting onto it, you can't just hop on. You have to carefully get on because that thing teeter-totters. It's not, locked in on like wheels. It floats on a track, but you still have to have a little bit of balance.
I feel like it's voyaging all on its own. You have no idea. Completely captivated. That's right. I would say attraction number 2 for me, absolutely Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones Adventure has long held a place in my heart, mainly because I look at Disneyland as a place where, and Disney parks just in general, like it's a place if they can tell a story and captivate you to a point where you feel like you are totally taken to another place, then they've done their job. And there is no greater attraction that does that for me than Indiana Jones, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. I think just walking through the queue, experiencing things throughout this ride, you get so disoriented in terms of direction, and you feel captivated by a different place, right? They tell a story of a different place in time, of a different place in the world, and it is what they do best. It is one of the most magical types of experiences you can possibly take part in, and for that reason, it makes my top 3 list for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's
a good one.
Like that's a long queue. Like growing up as as in the jungle, how deep is this temple? You don't realize, that Eeyore lot used to sit right there, and you really go deep back there. And then I feel like getting into the attraction versus when you're exiting are also two different sort of experiences, because one you go through the caves, the other one you actually see outside, and yeah, it's just such an amazing attraction. And I know they're bringing it to DAC, but it won't, or a different version of it, but this one will still be the OG, especially if they ever get those turntable walls ever working again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never will.
So maybe one day. And I would say that the final ride has got to be the Radiator Springs Races over at California Adventure. I'm jumping over
Nice.
here mainly because, again, I go back to the idea, if they can make me feel like I've been transported somewhere else, I am all in. And this attraction takes up the greater part of the backside of California Adventure because of just the sheer scope, right? The sheer volume of space needed for this ride and for the exterior of it all. I mean, Radiator Springs is essentially the rooftop. You know, when you think of these canyons and stuff, this is like the rooftop of the ride itself. And so it wraps all the way around the whole backside of the land. And, you know, if you've never seen it in person, video does it no justice, right? I feel like we take this for granted, Katrina and I, because you know, we see it all the time, and it just feels so cool whenever you walk in, and you know, especially at night, right? It's got its own little
Oh my god, 100%.
warmth
I
to
feel like
it.
this video that you're showing right now, this entrance is my favorite entrance in the daytime to look at Cars Land. By far. If no
Just
one's
seems
ever
endless,
visited,
right?
I always have to make them pass the first entrance and make them go this route just so they
Well,
can see it.
The best part about this angle, you don't see those power lines. They are gone.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
and like if anyone knows, is that Catella right there? What road is that?
Yeah, Catella's back there.
Yeah. If anyone's ever been there, you know that Catella has some massive power lines, and Disney managed to somehow make them disappear through force perspective and just using the right angle.
Magic.
So it's it honestly is magic. Those mountains have been there since day one.
They painted them sky blue. So you can't
It's
see
hard
blue.
to tell, right? Yeah, it feels like they just built the park around it. And Fred in chat saying Grizzly River Run, Radiator Springs Racers, and Big Thunder. Oh, Fred, excellent list.
Mhm.
For
Those
the
are
big
good
guys.
Mike saying Cars, Pirates, and Indy. Oh, look
Yep.
at you, just
Mhm.
one away from me, Mike.
Pirates always good.
That's for darn sure.
Chris
Chris
it's too hard
chiming
to make
in.
a list.
It is. I know. Yeah. When you think
Three's
like,
hard.
oh, I only have time for 3. What am I gonna do? Chris saying Pirates Haunted Mansion, then the Incredicoaster, old school and one newer school.
I like Incredicoaster because I like the story of it, but I do miss hearing Neil Patrick Harris's voice narrate when it used to be California Screamin'.
Really?
It's the same. It's the same exact. It's the same ride. It does, like it's just him narrating. I liked it just because it was just going around up and down, bobbing and all that. Like I still
Bobbing and
like it.
weaving?
Yeah, I got bobbing and
Upside
weaving.
downing?
Yeah, up down, turn around. Come on, defense work.
Our friend D McGee saying happily weekend at Kingdom Family. D, thank you. I know D always tries to be with us whenever she can. Sometimes she has to work on Saturdays when we're live, but looks like she's with us today. Thanks,
D.
swinging by. Yeah.
Hope
And
you
for all
have
the
an
rest of
awesome
you
weekend.
in chat. Yeah, for all the rest of you in chat and for all the rest of you who are watching at home, watching on the go, for those of you not in chat, we see you. We see your numbers. We know you're out there. It means so much that you have decided to spend some of your weekend with us. We know the majority of you watch after the fact on demand. For you in the future, we say thank you as well. It's great to have you with us as we return after yet again another hiatus. Boy, between travel and work among all of us, that is kicking our butts this year.
Ugh. Grown.
How dare we work?
Adulting.
How dare we try and make sure that we have money to live?
To
It's tearing
vacation.
us up.
No,
Yeah.
I miss, I always miss doing the shows just because it's the one way I can, nerd out and talk Disney and whenever we get the chance to do this, it's always an absolute pleasure. And I cherish these days every time.
Oh,
What a
I'm gonna
guy.
get teary-eyed.
Don't choke up, Katrina. Hold it together.
I know.
Okay.
He always gets us to the verge of tears. I know.
It's true.
It's
That's
too
why he's the
special.
golden goose.
That's why he's our goose. Huh, there it is. Doing the honks for us. But we're glad we could be back with you. Certainly, it is never our intention to be gone as long as we end up being gone. And it's always because there's a huge setback. I always feel like if we can't get at least, 3/4 of us together, I feel like it's not truly together, right? It feels wrong when it's not at least 3/4 of us. Certainly, we've had some guests over the course of time try and fill in, but nobody fills these spots quite like the original group. So,
Wade.
it's amazing. Oh, please.
Wade.
You know it to be true. It's impossible to fill these shoes. And, as honored as we are to be a part of your lives, it is certainly, a huge honor in general just to be able to put on a show that anybody listens to, let alone a couple thousand here after the fact. So makes a huge difference to us. Let's dive into the news, though. Certainly a lot to cover, a lot to bring up, share with you. Over at Disneyland, we'll start SF Gate reporting that at Disneyland, an attraction that has been broken for many years will be rebuilt as part of a larger overhaul. A big refurbishment coming to Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, according to the Orange County Register. They say that when it works, the animatronic Tangaroa tree is part of the Enchanted Tiki Room's pre-show. You might recall this just outside. You'll see it in the photo on the right. The Tangaroa is a tiki god, the father of all the gods at the Enchanted Tiki Room, who takes the form of a tree. Featuring a carved face and flowers, the tree spins tails and blossoms as visitors walk by. The Tangaroa tree has been part of the Enchanted Tiki Room since it opened in 1963. However, it has long been silent. I have picked up on this as well in the last year. I've noticed this tree doesn't communicate. It doesn't do anything anymore. The Enchanted Tiki Room, it does struggle. Yeah, it takes a hard uphill route in order to communicate anymore. The Enchanted Tiki Room closed on April 28th, and the refurbishment is expected to see work on its lighting, sound, and show systems. It will also see a complete rebuild of the tree, they say, with the support of a high-resolution scan. Disneyland has not yet announced a date for when the Tiki Room will reopen, but the attraction is closed at least through June 11th. Other attractions that are currently being refurbished include It's a Small World and Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, which will see a new Walt Disney animatronic figure. We've been talking about that for months leading up to 70th kickoff time. That will take place, of course, where President Abraham Lincoln currently sits in the Opera House. Matterhorn bobsleds also slated to close temporarily for refurbishment on May the 5th. Garrett, what else do you think Disney should fix when it comes to attractions and spaces at its parks? It's about time there's some TLC on especially these more classic elements.
Yeah. These rides need some TLC, and it's not because they're bad rides, just because, after getting hit by the elements, getting beat up, worn down, like Indy goes through refurb all the time, but, Indy's one of the upper echelons of attractions out there. In terms of just a major refurb, I think the People Mover, that one's been down for quite some time and could really use some sort of, some love and get that thing going again. And then, I'm just going around to the different areas. Has Snow White gone through anything recently? I really can't tell. I can't remember. Okay, well, see, it's been a hot second since I've gotten to spend a good amount of time.
The kiss, like the whole scene.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Well, being that we spoke earlier about Storybook Land canals, I think adding some new enhancements and new kind of don't change it in terms of gutting it and turning it into something it's not. But I think either adding new lighting or new maybe projection mapping on there, especially at nighttime when people go
projection mapping.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking some projection mapping, or maybe because you can, when you go through there, you can hear little audios, you can hear the doo doo doo, and you can see they have all of these little things. But
nighttime
I think
projection mapping.
Yeah, nighttime projection mapping would be, I think, a solid addition to that area. I'm really going through this. If you want to fix it, just get rid of
Millennium Falcon.
I was going to say just get rid of Galaxy's Edge and put something original out there, but that's neither here nor there. I always want Mr. Toad to get more things, add projection mapping to that thing. I know they've added some things where, like, when you come out of the library, the fireplace spreads ashes onto the ground, and then you go to hell at the very end of it. That's always a classic. But I think, you could do little things here and there for that.
Make hell hotter, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously.
like if I don't get out
Sinners.
there, if I don't get out there with second-degree burns, am I even doing it right? But
And I know Katrina for sure. You have held to a very high regard the idea of fixing Tomorrowland for good.
Seriously, just make it new, okay? Just everything in Tomorrowland.
just make it part of tomorrow.
Buzz Lightyear,
It's too
fix
present.
it up. Get rid of the Astro Orbiters because it is a problematic area. Just open that baby up. Fix the people and make me a people mover again, and then just get rid of the what is it called? My mind just went blank. The cars area, the
Autopia?
Autopia. Get rid of it. We don't need it.
What?
Make a new cool ride, but not Tron.
Okay.
I don't need another cookie cutter ride.
Okay. What about was it Star Wars Galactic Outpost or whatever? In the circle? What's the giant circle thing? In the back? Next to Space Mountain.
The food area?
No, it's like it used to be like a show building, but now it's where you can meet all the Star Wars characters.
Where
and
Captain
all that stuff.
EO is? Or was?
No. This is. I'll find out.
What are you talking about?
You keep going.
What is it? I was like, wait, what? I mean, I need better food for one. And then also, I don't know. I just want a better Tomorrowland. Like, make it better. Don't make it just stroller parking because it's just sad. It's just gross. I don't like it. And then just get rid of Astro Orbiter. Move it. If you need to keep it, move it.
I'm talking about
It is-
interventions. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry.
Oh.
What do they use that
Sure.
for?
The old
Is it
Star
on
Wars
floor?
compound in the back, right?
Oh,
yeah.
The biggest building
Yeah.
in the land that takes up so much space that they're doing
Yeah.
nothing with. That's right.
Like that.
I see.
That-
That's why we're like, wait, what?
I'll take Astro Orbiter
Launch bay.
at Disneyland. Launch Bay. I'll take Astro Orbiter at Disneyland over Disney World. I think the one at Disney World's horrible. I'm glad that they're doing like a makeover on it, but can you really turn
Yeah.
trash into
Launch Bay
nicer
could
trash?
be something more because, like, right now, all they're using it for is I guess Star Wars stuff. But then isn't that where the DVC meeting space is?
Yeah, it's a lounge.
And then they used it for. Isn't that where they do the nighttime firework?
Yeah, on the
thing.
exterior.
We don't even.
Yeah.
on the
That's
So they're
how
using it-
irrelevant it
They're
is.
just trying to figure out what to do with this because it's just a sad area. Yes, Garrett is
huge
completely
air
correct.
conditioned building
Yeah.
that will not
you
be
make
open.
something better with it. Give me a show.
Yeah.
Give me a fun
Why
show.
have a giant building, a giant space like this open for Disneyland 70th? Let's not do anything with it. Let's just have it sit there.
Yeah, that could have been where Walt Disney could have been. They could have made
he did
a
love
Walt
Tomorrowland.
Disney attraction for himself, not having in between the great moments with Mr. Lincoln and then rotate it to Walt Disney. They could have just made it its own thing.
I
Right?
can get behind that.
People.
Yeah.
The
What are we
wonderful
doing here,
world of
Imagineers?
Disney. Yes.
Thanks a lot, JPEG.
That's right. Mike saying lots of things need to be fixed. Tomorrowland, a complete overhaul is needed, but Disney won't throw money at that. Sadly, yeah, I feel. Amen.
I know. Band-Aids are their favorite thing to use.
It's the truth.
And the cheap
He
ones.
says-
Not even
and the cheap
real
ones,
Band-Aids.
right? Exactly. Mike saying, "You mean a marching band playing off the second level isn't enough?" Exactly, Mike. Right?
That's right.
It's a prop. It's a whole. It's a giant prop anymore. That's all
Oh,
it is.
Mike.
It's ridiculous. That's for sure.
It's
well,
so true. Just
lots of
Tomorrowland.
things.
Invest everything.
Yeah, it needs so much help. I was kind of hoping
Mhm.
D23 was going to go all in on that last year, and no, not at all.
Maybe
So-
Destination. Maybe they'll talk about it this year? Question mark.
Listen, how long
smallest
until
of
the
them.
how long until the election for Tyler? Because I know it's one of his major talking points when he does his speeches.
That
But
and
I
the
can't
two.
reveal we can't reveal all that to the public just yet. But yeah, Tyler's got big plans for Tomorrowland, and one of them is getting People Mover to come back and having a dedicated Powerline concert. I can tell you that.
Oh, well,
Oh, that's fun.
it's got my vote. Yeah,
I love it.
Dedicated Powerline concert. That's all I needed to hear. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Well, lots of things
Tomorrowland,
need to
yes.
be spruced up, especially, or I should say, at the very least, Tomorrowland in general. Couldn't agree more. There's also a big announcement here as of this past week. Ridiculous amounts of new food coming to Disneyland as they are rolling out 60 new menu items for what is being called basically an unannounced food festival. The Orange County Register reports that Disneyland just doesn't want to let festival season come to an end after the Festival of the Holidays, Lunar New Year Festival, and the Food and Wine Festival finished a 5-month run of food-centric feasts at the Anaheim Theme Park Resort. Disneyland kicked off another resort-wide food event this past Wednesday with more than 60 new menu items that Mouse Planet has dubbed the Unannounced Food Festival. The official Disney Eats Instagram account has been rolling out a menu of new breakfasts, salads, entrees, desserts, drinks, and snacks coming to locations throughout Disneyland and California Adventure. The new menu lineup includes a few returning favorites from recent seasonal festivals, all debuting just in time for the May 16th kickoff of Disneyland's 70th anniversary celebration. Katrina, this list is long and plentiful. There are all kinds of different foods. We don't have time to cover them all here, but there's so much that is suddenly being offered. I can't help but get the feeling like, is this is this an attempt to try and make the 70th feel a little bit more special because it's not feeling as special as it should?
Yeah, right. And then also, if they wanted to make it feeling a little bit more special, they missed the mark with doing 60 when they should have done 70 new food
I was
items.
about to
Am I
say
right?
that. I'm like, wait,
I right?
didn't we have the 60th already? Or
Come on.
do 35
You
because
can't
that
think
times
of
2 is 70.
10 new churro flavors to make it an even 70. But yeah, it is special. I do think it's fun. I wouldn't call it an unannounced food festival. These are just glorified menu changes because they just took away things and added to it. And half of them are drinks. It's just sugar water. So I wouldn't really call it a food festival. Like it's some of it's like nice, I'm like, okay, well that's kind of cool and whatnot. But for me as an allergy, I look at this and I roll my eyes because I probably could maybe have 2 or 3 things that are not liquid form, right?
Oh, wow.
Disney really loves to
How
have an
sad.
allergy menu during Food and Wine Festival saying, oh, you have tons of options. And it's like one food option and the rest are drinks. And I'm like, well, that's not really helpful for me.
Hope you're thirsty.
I really hope I am. And like a high alcohol tolerance. I'm just like, what is this? So with all of this stuff, I'm like, maybe a couple salads. They really are not friendly about allergies at Disneyland compared to Disney World, in my opinion. Maybe other people have had better help, but with me, it's just like there was a couple of the new menu items. They're just like deer in headlights. They just don't know what to do. And they're like, well, I would just go based off of what's approved and nothing that you can modify. Which is a bummer because Red Roach Tavern had some pretty good new additions, which I was kind of shocked about because that chicken BLT sounds very yummy. I'm a green goddess dressing person. Every now and then it's just like, oh, something new. So I'm excited that this is happening as something new for everybody, but I wouldn't really call it a unannounced food festival. That's being very ambitious.
Very generous indeed. I feel like that s'mores butter cake sundae does sound fantastic for those of us without the gluten allergy. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
Red Rose Tavern used to be like the place I would go when they first opened. That cauliflower sandwich was so good. And then the Beast Burger, I was obsessed with. And then they got rid of them. And that cauliflower steak sandwich was money. If everybody has had it, you know how sad it is that it's gone, because it was just a spicy curry flavored just cauliflower steak on bread with this really yummy aioli that they put on it. Oh well.
You must have been the
And
only
now
person
it's just burgers,
ordering it.
burgers and burgers.
Yeah, burgers galore. I did see the rollout for Bengal barbecue as it's listed here. The new breakfast bowl, the white rice, scrambled eggs, fried spiced ham, gravy, and chili oil. So I like the concept. I saw the picture though.
God, how expensive
usually
is it?
those pictures. Yeah, it's a good question. Usually those pictures over deliver in terms of, they want to sell you the senses in an image, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't really meet that with the photo this time. I feel like it looked, lacking, quite lacking here in that regard. And I thought, well, I'm not inclined to buy it if this is the photo. Doesn't look that good. It looked like very sort of minuscule portions, and it just looked like something I could make in my kitchen, sadly. So I'm hoping that they can plus that up a little bit.
$13.99. But I was thinking it was going to be expensive because they have their little plate thing that they try to sell, their Bengal rice plate, and that's like $20.
Oh, that's right.
So I was imagining this baby to be like $20.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I've always noticed that just, only a handful of places have breakfast options anyway inside the park. And those that do are usually very reasonable in price. I think it's just because breakfast isn't really something a lot of people go out of their way for, at least in a quick service atmosphere. I think like if you're going to be sitting down at Carnation Cafe, for example, okay, you're going to get charged a little bit more. But these quick service options, I think it's just there to supplement, really. It's not really a primary focus, of the culinary team. It's more of a, we should have some things just in case people are hungry in the morning.
Yeah, I do hear that
stuff.
breakfast chimichanga that they sell at Disneyland, right? The Disneyland side and Frontierland is the hot ticket. They sell out pretty quick.
Gotta try me one of those.
I don't know. I guess it's like a huge thing. I can't have it. It sounds great. I used to really love the breakfast sandwich over at, oh my God, what's that place called? Now my brain just went to poo. At Tomorrowland. The Galaxy, whatever it's called.
I'll try the chimichanga for you, and I'll mail one to Garrett. How about that?
Yeah, that one.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, they brought a chicken. What is it? A breakfast sandwich over at Edelweiss Snacks. The pull apart garlic pretzel bread, and then they added sausage and eggs to it, I think.
Ooh,
or maybe it's not Edelweiss Snacks. It's Maurice's Treats over at Maurice's.
Maurice's
like that viral garlic cheesy pretzel bread.
Yeah, the breakfast cheesy
added
pretzel
a couple
bread.
sausages.
Here it is.
Yeah. It sounds
cheesy
great.
Garlic bread, scrambled eggs and sausage. Okay, that does sound nice.
Doesn't that sound good?
That does sound good.
So someone
Another
eat it
thing
for
I'll
me,
have
okay?
to try for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Exactly.
I don't.
It sounds really good.
I'm hesitant on the matcha float at Tropical Hideaway. I don't know about that one.
You don't like a matcha?
I'm not a big matcha person.
What's a matcha?
I don't know. Maybe I'll just try some more. But I'll take the little cookies that have some raspberry on them. That sounds
little cookies,
delightful.
please.
Little
Would
cookies.
be nice. Well, 60 new menu items coming our way as they kick off the 70th anniversary here in just about a week and a half's time. Out at Walt Disney World we go. Guess what? Ticket prices have gone up for 2026.
What? That's crazy. What? That never happened.
Who would have thought?
Brace yourselves for the news you never thought you would hear, right?
$199 for studios? What are they smoking?
You're telling me. Walt Disney World has released ticket prices and vacation packages for 2026, specifically from January 1st through October 31st, 2026. Bookings for November and December of 2026 will be made available at a later date, so this is the first 10 months of the year. The new price range for one-day tickets: Magic Kingdom, $139 to $199, EPCOT, $129 to $194, Hollywood Studios, $139 to $199, Animal Kingdom $119 to $179. The maximum prices for Magic Kingdom and Epcot remain the same as in 2025. That should be noted. The most expensive, Disney's Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom tickets increased by $5. However, tickets for November and December, the busiest time of the year for Disney World, could end up priced even higher. Disney World also announced a free dining plan for kids coming in 2026, the return of free water park admission for hotel guests, and continued early entry and extended evening hours for hotel guests. So, Garrett, how much is too much, and are we already starting to see a decline in demand anyway? I didn't think that they would toy too much with pricing, because we've heard recently that things aren't working out the way that they thought they were going to work. Profits are not the same. Profits are coming from, incremental raising of prices in different places, and not because the demand is there like it used to be. Things are different than they were 10 years ago. Where's this all going?
I think it's going sideways. That's where I think it's going. So, typically, if you have higher demand, if you took, Econ 101 in high school, you learned that, hey, when demand increases, you can raise prices, and, people will flock to that. But right now, they're just raising prices for whatever reason, and I think demand's lowering. And with, I'm going to say the black sheep on the horizon, known as Epic Universe, getting more attention and all that stuff, I think people are going to start heading in that direction. It's not going to pull every guest that ever went to Disney World over there, but with Epic Universe about to open up and being the shiny brand new toy on in the playground, people are going to want to check that out, and that will pull people away from Disney. When I see $199 for Hollywood Studios, I have to laugh, because to me, it is still a half-day park until they add, Monsters Inc. over there and add actually more attractions to enjoy and actually make it a full-day park. It's a full-day park because you have to wait in all the lines, because they have attractions and 2 shows. But if you start adding, more things to do, give me more options to the menu that is experiencing Disney World, and I will gladly pay it. Granted, I have an annual pass, so I'm sort of what I pay is what I pay. And I think becoming just an annual pass holder and just making sure you go 7 to 8 days in a year and park hop, you've essentially paid for that. You've gotten the money out of that annual pass, and that's how I see it and how I validate that. But yeah, $199 for Studios, no. Magic Kingdom, of course, because that is, that's the sparkly thing. DAC for $119, I can get behind that, but $179, I don't know. These prices, these peak pricing, I think it's a little ridiculous. Granted, around the holidays, people are going to pay that because that's what they want to do. But bring back more entertainment, give us more shows, more activities, and give the rides the TLC that they need. And then we can talk about increasing prices. But right now, you're just keeping things as they are and just raising it for whatever reason. And it's just not adding up to me. So I'm curious to see once Epic opens up and we start getting the summer tourism crowds, because there's no Olympics this year. The World Cup is next year. So maybe it'll be a little less international because people are saving up for the World Cup. But let's see what summer brings, and let's see how long they hold it, because, I don't know what the strategy is here. I can't even try and predict it, because there doesn't seem to be one. It just seems to be we need money and let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
sounds right.
This is weird to think, Katrina, that we are just $1 away from a $200 day at Magic Kingdom.
They really just are trying
day.
And that's single park. That's single park.
One person. Yeah, one park. That's for one day. That's crazy. And then also it's why would you spend that much money for just one day? I guess if you're going on a cruise or something and you just want to step foot in the park before your cruise, or you're doing some other things in Florida and you just want to stop on by for a day, but that's
increase parking prices or something.
I don't know. Parks. It's so expensive. It's just so silly. And then on top of it, they want you to pay for Lightning Lane,
Yep.
and all this other stuff too. And then to park, I mean, that's expensive in itself. It's a lot.
Garrett
Everything's
wants
a lot.
that price raised.
Oof, $200. Like, I mean, pretty much it is $200 for if
Yeah,
you're going on
like-
the worst time of the, and it's gonna be like horrible. $200 if you
Yeah.
go to Magic Kingdom on that $199 day, might as well just turn around and leave because you're gonna have a horrible, horrible time. Because the lines
It's
are
going to
gonna
be pretty
long.
awful, I bet.
It's gonna
That's
be
gonna-
packed wall to wall people, and everybody's gonna be angry and fighting. And I can just already like talk myself out of it. I'm like, I
So-
would never go.
So if we were to go to any park tomorrow and get the Lightning Lane Premier Pass, like, and we were using these prices, you know, $379 for Magic Kingdom, Epcot $209. What up, Stockton and Lodi and San Joaquin County, and then Studios $329, and then DAC is $179. DAC seems to be the only thing worth the deal, and Epcot, but
That's
man,
with the Lightning Lane.
Oh no! That's Lightning Lane alone. $329 for Lightning Lane at Hollywood Studios tomorrow, not including.
Oh,
whatever
like the bougie one.
Yeah. That's the
Okay.
yeah. I'm talking about like if you were to do like the high tier because you don't want to wait in lines, you want to do everything, and you only get to go on them once. It is just not.
Mhm.
Money is just not worth it. It's more affordable for you and your family to just get a VIP tour guide.
I mean, I mean, might as well just try to grab some friends and be like, hey, you guys, let's all do this. Even though tickets
Mhm.
are not included in your VIP tour, let's just get that clear. So you're still gonna have to pay the $200 on top
Exactly,
of
yeah.
the VIP tour. So don't do that if you're only gonna do it for one day. But it might be worth it. I mean,
Mhm.
to have someone like haul your children around in a car without you dealing with it. You know what I mean? They load you up, they drive you around, they give you snacks, they keep you hydrated. Maybe it might be worth it if you have 10 people. But remember, if you have a baby and they are like 1 year old, that is a body. So it may not be
Right.
worth it if you have like 4 children that can't really ride rides doing a VIP tour. Just heads up.
Yeah, make sure they're old enough to enjoy, for sure.
Like, that may
Um,
not be worth it.
Mike saying Disney World just did release a multi-day discount starting at $60-ish a day. This is for locals, of course. Signs that Disney World is slower than expected by Disney management. I saw that myself, Mike, and it should also be noted that these one-day ticket prices that we're talking about, while they're being adjusted up, the multi-day tickets, right? The idea is that if you spend more over the course of, say you're there a week and you choose to go for 4 days, the more you spend on tickets per day, the less the overall daily cost becomes. So that's something that certainly we want to touch on here for the sake of fairness, but it doesn't change the fact that if you're only going in for a day, that cost is a breath away from $200 now. And during a time where Mike raises a good point, things are slower. They're not seeing the driving capacity that they used to see. And, I also saw here Dee mentioning ticket prices for her for December 1st day at Epcot was $174 and Magic Kingdom was $184. So certainly closing in on those top line prices. Granted, December 1st, I feel like that first week and a half, 2 weeks of December is the one break period in between. It's like right after Thanksgiving, right? That first week or so of December is the only break period in between sort of the chaos of the holidays at Disney World now. Just in terms of overall demand, everybody tends to show up right after that, and so you got in there, I think, at the perfect point, D, to save a little bit, just by a couple of dollars, but goes to show you. I mean, especially now knowing that we're just a breath away from $200 days at places. Magic Kingdom, I might understand. Hollywood Studios, that's a stretch for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd pay
You would have
$200.
to sit in dining room. You would have to sit at sit down dining to make it worth it for you to fill out your whole day from day to night.
Bit much.
Are you going to every Disney? Are you going to every Indiana Jones show and you're hoping for a different kind of scene?
End off with Fantasmic and pray to God you get out of there alive.
Yeah, is the new Little Mermaid show even there yet?
I don't think it started yet. But
No,
they're gonna have
that and
villain show.
no that and villains aren't even out yet, so there's still not even enough to fill it up. But hey, you can go ride Midway. They still have that, but they villains ever they still have that, and they still have Fantasmic, but you can only go on Tower of Terror so many times and Rock and Roller Coaster so many times.
It's true.
Checking out what Fred shares here. In 2021, he says, when I was living in Orange County, my 365-day year pass with free parking at Disneyland was $340 to go back in time.
What? That's
That
less
is
than $1 a day.
Wait, also they're going to be closing like Pizza Rizzo and stuff in that whole area next year. And they're charging
Oh, what a loss.
$199?
Tyler better get on this fast. Otherwise, Katrina's going to riot. She's going to have I was going to say
Oh
a
my
pitchfork,
gosh.
but it's a picket sign.
I would say absolutely not. If anybody wants to book with me and say they want to go, I'm going to give you an earful about spending $199 to go. You better be wanting like full on. Do not tell me you want to just go for Millennium Falcon for $199.
At these prices, it is more affordable to fly to China, Paris, Tokyo, or go on a Disney cruise.
I mean, that's probably why we're seeing such a decline. It's more expensive to fly domestic now than international. And
That's a
for
great
me,
point.
I mean, even going to Florida from LA has tripled in price. I'm not even kidding. Just for Maine is tripled in price, and it's not even worth it to go with all the headache it is. I mean, might as well just spend like the same amount and go to Europe. In my opinion.
No doubt that plays a huge impact on people's travel plans. Fred saying he meant 2001, not 2020. I was about to ask too. I was going to say, are we sure, Fred? Because the Magic Key, I thought like things were suspended, and I was going to say, how
after
did
the
that
pandemic,
happen?
it was cheaper to go there than anything. They were really hurting then.
Yes, to go back in time to 2001. Yes, that does make a difference, doesn't it? Right? Very good. Well, I know that travel in general is a much more expensive concept. Just trying to get from place to place can certainly be a lot. As always, I feel like when we discuss these topics and people, naturally take the position of, you guys sound negative. We hear this every time we start to approach these topics, and I always feel like, no, we've come to expect, we've come to expect a very high-level experience by a company that told us to expect it. And then when we don't receive it, we're naturally critical, as everybody should be. I want to take folks back, if we're going back in time, like Fred said, he's going back to 2001. I want to just go back 10 years and show you what it was Disney was offering us day to day. This is something that we've shared not too long ago, but this is something that it's a good reminder of how far we've come in such a short amount of time.
So, you want to hear more about our Disney Resort hotels? Well, you came to the right place. You won't believe all the magical benefits you get.
With more than 20 fun hotels, you get to pick your theme. You'll find the one that's perfect for your perfect Disney dream. We'll get you so excited that you'll never want to leave. The list of things to see and do is too much to believe. It's true. When you're staying at a Disney Resort hotel, the fun never ends. There are water sports, all kinds and sorts that fill the 7 seas. Restaurants for bon vivants, such fine amenities. Since your resort hotel can be so near a Disney park, you could play all day with Mickey and see fireworks at dark. You want to spend even more time in a Disney theme park? Well, listen to this. Stay right here with us and then you'll get some magic powers. Extra time inside the parks, we call it extra magic hours. These extra magic hours happen every single day. It's all complimentary, an extra thank you for your stay. Hey, check this out. It's called a magic band. Another cool perk you get when you stay in a Disney Resort hotel. We'll give you each a magic band. Wear it on your favorite hand. Amping up the fun when you're on the run. Your magic band will get it done. Just pick the color best for you. Orange, yellow, green, and blue. You can open up your door, use it at a store. You think that's cool, just wait, there's more. That's right. You can even use your magic band at our Fast Pass Plus locations. What's Fast Pass Plus, you ask? Come on, I'll show you. You've got so much to do. You need the perfect perk for you. To cut down on your wait, make a fast pass date. We'll help you get on through. It makes your stay a treat. Reserve that meet and greet. Come on, get it now. Make your trip a wow, it's sweet. And you know what else is sweet? As
As a guest of a Disney Resort hotel, you get first access to FastPass Plus service up to 60 full days before you check in. Flying into Orlando Airport? Then you get to experience Disney's Magical Express service. We can pick you up with our airport bus, drop your bags and you at your doorstep. Plus, with the drive off your mind, leave your worries behind. Transportation, it's on us. Even after you get here, take a monorail or a boat or bus. There's no fee, no charge, there's no mess, no fuss. With the drive off your mind, leave your worries behind. Transportation, it's on us. So we're all set. We hope you'll be joining us soon at a beautiful Walt Disney World Resort Hotel. Zippity-doo-dah, come down and play. We've got magic every night, every day. Plenty of fun times heading your way. Yes, you're gonna love this. Nothing beats a Disney Resort Hotel. It's a wonderful stay.
My God, take me back, Garrett.
Wow.
How do you feel right now?
This is why we're negative, everybody.
Well, I felt like I was going to man, what is this new tourist destination? Like, it didn't even register with what we currently have. It truly felt like
happy people?
Someplace else. Yeah. Whether it was the jingles or all the, just the different things. When they said like no fee or hey, enjoy it, no fuss. I'm like, ha, 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 that's all we have now.
Coming from the airport, just don't worry about it. We'll take your bags.
Like, the Disney Magical Express, that's gone. Hop on a Mears bus or whatever, do that. But no, that commercial genuinely made me feel happiness and joy. And then when it ended, I came back to reality and it was a dreadful nightmare and I want to go back to sleep. Give me some Ambien.
They wanted you to be in the Disney bubble. Like, they wanted you to stay in the Disney bubble. And everybody was included and everybody was on the same playing field, even if you were deluxe or moderate resorts or whatever. No matter what you were, you had the exact same playing field. No one got extra privileges just based off of the amount you would pay for the hotel would be your privilege if you wanted to stay at, Art of Animation compared to the Grand Floridian. You know what I mean? But you all took the same bus. You all had the extra magic hours. Everybody had the same things. And then now it's like, oh, you mean extra magic hour for deluxe resorts? Yeah, everybody else
they don't even have extra hours. Even they cut them. Yeah. In the summertime, one thing I really loved back in, I'd say 2018, is that when Pandora first opened, you could go to Animal Kingdom at night, and it was like the first time they ever did it. They even had safaris at night with the special lighting so that way you could see the animals in their nocturnal settings. And now, oh, hey, that closed at 8. You don't even get to see Pandora at night. And in the movies, right? That's what, like, 6. Yeah. Sometimes it's like 7 or whatever, and not even 9 o'clock. And, when you watch James Cameron's films, you see the bioluminescence. You see Pandora come to light at night.
It costs too much to repair it.
Come to life at night, and it's just it doesn't even exist anymore. And the only time you can experience that is if you go on the attractions. But I liked when I would go on, Navi River Journey and get out and it's nighttime. I was like, man, I was in that world the entire time instead of, I was just on a ride. I want to be able to experience that all at night. Merida doing archery? Nope, they got rid of that. And now you get to meet Mirabelle. Not that I don't love Mirabelle, but, it used to be so much more. Can we bring back Soarin' Over California too? Because that's way better than Soarin' Over the World. Sorry, I'm going to just keep seeing all the beauty and keep crying. And Illuminate. Can we get Illuminations back, please? Such an ode, such an amazing fireworks. Didn't even need lyrics until the end. Oh,
it just makes me sad that this is all. I mean, even parking was included. All of this stuff was included, and it's just now the buses are dwindled by half, and they pick up from more resorts now to make sure that bus is full. So now you have more time wasted while you're waiting to get to the parks. So everybody just wants to drive now or take Ubers, and then they start. I don't know. It's just sad how it just declined and everything was taken away because those extra magic hours at night during the summer were the best. because
Those
it's
were the
already
best.
hot in the daytime, still hot in the afternoon, still hot at night, but it was manageable.
Oh, can we bring back meet and greets with characters like Rafiki and King
No.
Louie and stuff? Is that a Disney character at a Disney park? What in the world?
Yeah, it's just so sad, Wade. Garrett.
All the nickel and
It's just
diming.
disappointing.
I get it.
Yeah, man. It's not
It
the
adds
same as
up.
it used to be.
Yeah, it definitely adds up and diminishes the experience over the course of time. And like I said, it wasn't that long ago. That was a video from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's wild to think how much has been removed from the experience that used to be included, as Katrina said, for everyone, right? It was
Yeah.
for everybody.
And it was
and now-
stress-free. That's like the key.
Yeah.
Stress-free. Everybody got magic, like the magic bands. Everybody got the fast passes. The only stress you had was booking dining and your fast passes before you got there. That was it.
Yeah.
It's
You
the
could
truth.
you could get a dining reservation 2 hours before, and it was nothing. Now you have to audit a college level class with a thesis in order to actually get this. Like, I would consider us and Tyler included, and even the other guests that we have on the show, pretty top tier experts. Like Katrina, you're a travel agent, and even this stuff for us is sometimes hard to even realize and learn, just because they've changed so much and it's not the same. It's they change these things and you can't even learn it. You have to almost figure it out on your own and hope you roll a lucky pair of dice.
It's stressful. And then that's why Disney, that's why it's very important to book with, small travel agencies and stuff too, versus big box ones, just going through Disney themselves and going through Costco because it's cheaper and stuff. It's they're not going to help you book dining. They're not going to help you give the ins and outs of what to do and how to plan your day. They don't care. They go, money, please. And then that's it. And then they let you read all their websites and watch really bad videos of what fast passes can give you and how much they cost and all this stuff. When you book with a travel agent, like a small one, it's you don't pay them extra. It's included. All of it's the same price booking through Disney or booking through them, and they hold your hand and lead you through what you want to do with your trip, right?
Katrina
they do their
Manzoni is
best.
currently looking for new guests and friends to book with her. Give her a
Not
call
just
at the end
me,
of the show today. The toll-free number is
anybody.
at the bottom of your screen.
But it's just anybody. It's just if you're new to planning stuff, it's just one wrong move can ruin your whole trip and it'll ripple, right?
Yeah.
And it'll just ruin your whole trip if you try to do it yourself, if you've never done a theme park before, right? It's the people that save for years and they're okay, finally my kids are old enough. Finally, I'm able to book this once in a lifetime trip to Disney World for a week. And then you go, how much does this cost? Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Okay, well, I guess we'll stay at the cheapest hotel. Well, now you're wasting about an hour of your trip now on the bus system because they decide to go to other resorts now because they're getting cheaper. And now you have to pay for magic bands. And now you have to try to get your family from the airport to the hotel. And it's just what it used to be is so much nicer.
Yeah, what is it worth going on vacation if it's going to just be a stressful endeavor, right? And
Yeah.
You have to plan and plot and ploy to get every ounce of vacation experience out of it. And yeah, that's certainly not something that I think a lot of people want to do with their time. And certainly now you see everybody with a phone in their face, right? A lot of people are walking
Yes.
around because that is how you have to do it. So that's the way the experience has become. And will it change? Who knows? But
When
that
Tyler
is-
becomes CEO.
We're on our way for sure. Well, moving along here when it comes to other Walt Disney World news, I know that EPCOT is about to open up its new adults-only Disney Bar and Lounge. The new Spaceship Earth Lounge coming to EPCOT is opening on June 4th. Best of all, for date nighters in particular, it's going to be 21 and over. The swanky spot is going to be quite exclusive, with advanced reservations being required. So if you thought you could just walk in, That ain't happening. Reservations open up on May the 6th. Get ready to enjoy craft cocktails, exquisite small plates, and one of the most sophisticated atmospheres inside a Disney World theme park. Availability will be extremely limited, and proof of age via photo identification will be required. For an afternoon snack, choose from carefully crafted dishes from around the world, including the jumbo lump crab, the fungi flatbread, the cannellini hummus, truffled ahi tuna, and so much more. For a perfect conclusion to your day, though, they say reserve the Geo 82 fireworks experience. By the way, that's the name of this bar, Geo 82. The fireworks experience here will be part of the Enchanting Extras collection. You can visit on the Disney World website for new views of Luminous, the Symphony of Us, from tables along the lounge's windows. The premium experience includes a tasting tower of savory light bites, sweet selections, champagne poured tableside, and event-exclusive cocktails. So, Katrina, to me, kind of feels like this is taking the place of that sort of mega festival center, that 2-story festival center that they planned on building originally with Epcot's growth that never came to fruition. That was going to be closer to World Showcase, but now they're outfitting this space on the back end of Spaceship Earth. If this adults-only space concept, do you think it's likely to grow if they added another lounge? Where do you think it should go if it was an adults-only space?
Ooh, that is a good question. I don't know where it would go.
Epcot seems like a good spot. I mean, if you're going to do adults only, I guess Epcot is an
yeah,
adults
I mean,
mostly
Epcot is
park.
kind of like the only one you can really do like with the adults only type of thing. I really wish they built that mega tri-level. What was it supposed to be like
The
3 levels?
the festival
I
center.
really wish they built
it
that
was going to
one.
be the it was going to be the festival center that was supposed to be where Communicore Hall is right now.
Yeah, and now that's just like a sad thing. But honestly, like I like where Geo 82 is. I see it and I get excited, but then I think about what we could have had, and then I get sad again because I'm like, well, we could have had this multi-level area where instead of having, air quotations, limited space in the back half of Spaceship Earth, we could have had a whole level adults only with a view of the nighttime show and all of this stuff that could probably hold 5 times the people, right? And then you could have had 5 times more money in your pocket because you could upsell like they're doing this one with the nighttime show seats, right? So I don't even know how much those are going to cost. That's what scares me the most is like, how much is this place going to cost? I mean, the drinks are already minimum $20.
I'm wondering how much of the fireworks you're actually going to be able to see, because I know in that photo it makes it look really big, but
it makes it look very nice. And I'm like, okay, but what about those people like all the way towards the back of the image? And I'm sure they also paid for a high price to view it. And they're probably going to get trees that are going to grow, right? Because that's what trees do. They grow up. So
they do.
I'm like, so all of this is going to be blocked or something soon enough. I don't know. I'm excited by it. I'm scared about how much all of this is going to cost. I'm going to go and do it once so I can judge it for myself. But I mean, it's nice to have a view and whatnot, but it's just, I don't know, a short-sighted thing when they could have built this huge, whole upstairs section, and then they could have used it for private events. And someone could have bought out that whole area outside, and they could have made this like this big thing. But anyway, I digress. I don't know. If to build another lounge, though, I am curious where it would go. It would be really cool to get it. I want it in another park. That's the thing. Like we have so many lounges and bars at Epcot where I'm kind of like, I like where we're at. Like we have a view of fireworks, and the nighttime show. You can go to Space 220 if you really need a drink and be inside and look at air quotation space. You can be like, Katy Perry and just be like, hey, I'm in space. And then, but then, you can go to Mexico and go to the Cava del Tequila. There's like a whole bunch of places you can go, Italy, France, and like in England. So it's just like, I don't want it in Epcot. I want it in another park, like Animal Kingdom or something. Give me another one.
Put a lounge in that tree.
Oh my gosh. Do you know how cool that would be? Like, just give me like a cool bar, like that's like an outlook of, where they have the safari.
Ooh.
They, if you pay a pretty penny,
Yeah.
they have that
that would be
outlook
neat, yeah.
area. But if they did something where you like the Rafiki area or something like that, where you had to like get there. I mean, if it was easy walkability, I guess Rafiki's kind of hard because you have to take a little train. But somewhere in like Animal Kingdom would be really, really cool. Like if they opened it over in like the Encanto area when it reopens, and you're kind of like in the jungle and overlooking the outside, because that's the main key. Is like I want a lounge where I'm able to kind of overlook the outside, except for Mexico, because Mexico you're technically inside but you're outside.
Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You're inside but you're
I think we
outside,
already
so
know.
it kind of seems nice. You're not locked up in a room.
Absolutely. I think we already know that, the Nomad Lounge at Animal Kingdom is very popular.
Oh my God.
because
It's delicious.
really-
Like the food is great. You
Yeah.
get a view of like the outside area. When they used to have the little boats go by, that was so fun to sit outside at
That was
Nomad
great.
and see the boats cruise by.
Launchpad McDuck rolling
Yeah.
by.
And like
I want.
Pocahontas being like, Win Capo.
Can I get the Tip Top Club on top of Tower of Terror?
Oh my
Can we
gosh,
get-
yeah, that would
Oh.
be really
Can we-
cool. That's a
Can we
good
get
one.
can we get something going there? Like, granted, you have to take a questionable elevator that falls faster than the speed of gravity, but other than that, I hear they have great views and fantastic cocktails.
That would be really fun. I feel like
I would like to drop
Epcot
into that.
has enough places. Oh my gosh, I got what you did there. I think Hollywood
Thank you.
Studios, they have bars, but I think that would be a really good one, like a good themed bar.
Either that
Absolutely.
or
Well,
I
can we
vote that
do
one.
can we do something around Echo Lake? Like, cause that's just like sort of like a chill area. You can see the fireworks from a certain side.
Yeah.
Put on you could put it on
In
one of
Gertie.
the rooftops over
Gertie. Put a bar in
Gertie's Lounge. Gertie's Lounge sounds pretty dope. to
Dino
me.
Lookout.
Yeah, Dino Lookout.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, a lot of opportunities for sure to wedge in some more lounge spaces. After all, there's still plenty of buildings that aren't being utilized at Disney World too, just like Disneyland. So, hey, maybe we'll see that in the future. But this adults-only Disney bar, Geo 82, the upscale Spaceship Earth Lounge, coming to Epcot on June the 4th. It really does not look that big from the concept art, right? It looks like about maybe 50 seats or so. Might be a little more than that.
It looks small.
Yeah, that is going to be tough to get into, I bet. So no doubt they're doing reservations. I see why. That does not.
The bar
look
only
like
has like
there's-
it looks like 6 seats, 7 seats.
Are they gonna have a limited time where you're only in there for a certain amount of time?
I can imagine them putting a
That'll probably be
timestamp
it.
on it, like 90 minutes or
Yeah.
something.
I can absolutely see that too. So, but you'll go and experience it for us,
Yeah, I'm
Katrina.
gonna try
I'm sure.
it. The food,
Report
I'll
back.
take pictures at the prices. I'm probably not going to get anything, but I can only imagine because they have a special bourbon flight that's only like it's
Ooh.
like Disney chosen bourbon. So
Oh.
I'm like, oof, that's probably got to be up in the $50-$60 range to have three sips of something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It just seems expensive, but we'll try it. We'll
yeah.
see.
Well, I hope it wows us for
If
sure.
we can get
I hope
reservations.
there's a wow factor. if you can get in, yeah, right. It'll be 6 months before you can walk
Yeah.
in there. I bet, but
It's
when
like
you do,
220 all over again.
eventually it'll die down. You'll be able to see it for yourself. The other news we wanted to touch on in Walt Disney World, unfortunately, this was the case not too long ago, I think about a year ago, where this arrest happened. Now, maybe in the fortunate category, this worker has now been sentenced from the story that we heard about a year ago. A former employee of Walt Disney World who hacked into menus used by its restaurants and edited them, changing prices, adding profanity, and altering listed allergens, was sentenced to 3 years in prison by a federal judge in Florida this week. None of the changes, including falsified information about food allergens that could have been harmful to visitors, ever appeared before the public, according to the court records. The menu alterations were caught, and court records show that none of the changes ever reached the printing stage. The former employee, Michael Schuer of Winter Garden, Florida, was sentenced on Wednesday in federal court in Orlando after pleading guilty in January to 1 count of computer fraud and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. Mr. Schuer was ordered to pay restitution of about $620,000 to Disney and $70,000 to the unidentified software company that provides Disney with its menu creation program. In early June 2024, Schuer had returned from paternity leave, court documents show. A few days later, he had an argument with the supervisor about menu creation, according to the documents, and he was told that he would be suspended. Instead, he was fired for unspecified misconduct. The documents ended up stating an investigation by the FBI later revealed that beginning around that time and over approximately the next 3 months, there were multiple hacks into servers that hosted the menu creation program. Those changes included price cuts or hikes of a few dollars, profanities, and altering allergens in certain items. This is a weird way to get revenge.
Yeah, that is
so weird.
It's just bizarre. And it's like, know what? They got rid of me. Know what? Allergens. I'm gonna add that on there. And know what? I'm gonna make sure they can never get their pricing down all the way. That is it that Disney criminals just don't think like actual criminals? Like they think like I'm gonna create a minor inconvenience that anyone can see rather than like, no, I'm gonna blow up the castle. No. I'm gonna lower the price of chicken nuggets just enough that Disney feels it in their bank account. Like what?
Just ridiculous. I think about, like what must have been going through his mind. The story itself, it details other instances. He showed up to coworkers' homes and like waved at their Ring cameras and then ran away. I mean, maybe the guy was, I don't know, disturbed in some way. Maybe that's part of this, and it's just not been discovered or made clear. But just a bizarre way to seek revenge by altering menu items, adding profanity to menus that are digital in some cases. And, I guess here at the end of the day, none of it ever was seen anyway, right? I guess there's such a thorough process that it was all caught in advance, and then they recognized once they brought in the FBI, like, okay, we can trace who this came from. But what a weird thing to spend your time on after leaving a company, right? After being fired. That's how you get your revenge, huh? Okay.
Like I'm imagining in the image that we have there, he's putting, it's a hella good super slice of pepperoni pizza or baked, profanity word, gnocchi turkey bolognese. Like, it's like it's actually somehow complimentary to it with the language. Like it's not actually. It's like, man, this chicken is so beep 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 beep. Like
they did give some examples in the full story, and so even the profanity wasn't that risque. Like he did just enough, thinking it would slip through and it wouldn't be caught.
I get that.
Like he wasn't trying to be. It didn't look like he was trying to be all that intentional. He didn't put like the F word on chicken parmesan. He like made fun of different words and like rather than Nutella, he put hella or something like that. Like it was very minor scale. Again, this is just the weirdest story. And I don't understand, like, was it worth it now? I mean, you're 3 years in prison, man. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this happened.
Getting the FBI involved, too.
I know.
Disney was not playing. Listen, when you're Disney, it's like, listen, you went for a penny. We're going to go for, 1,000 pounds. We're going for a ton. Like they do Disney knows how to do overkill. We'll give them that.
$620,000 in restitution just to Disney alone. Like, good Lord. I hope it was worth it, man. But there you go. Another great Florida man story, as they call him. Fascinating to see the revenge route that this ex-Disney worker took. Thankful, though, that certainly nobody was harmed, especially with the allergen alterations. Certainly that sort of a thing could potentially kill somebody, right? So,
they can get sued, and that'd be huge.
Yeah. So no joking matter on that front, but glad it was all caught in advance and never fully reached the menus themselves. And now this guy is going to be locked away for a little bit. We turn away from domestic parks in general, and we turn to international parks. Now, I know Katrina has to get going here in a little bit, but certainly we wanted to kick off what Garrett's father-in-law has recently been able to experience, and apparently that was a trip to Shanghai Disneyland, and he got to go visit it himself. I know the guy sent us a lot of dispatches from Shanghai. What can you tell us about Rex here?
So, for those that are unaware, Ariel's father, his name is Rex, and he and my sister-in-law Madeline, they had a little spring break trip out to Shanghai Disney, or Shanghai, however you want to pronounce it. And the reason they went out there is that we have family friends that work for Disney, and they're like, hey, come out here and we'll like come stay, and we'd love to have you like come check it out and everything like that. Like we'll take care of the reservations if you can make it out here. And so it was not a comped trip or anything like that, but Rex, and always seeing how I vlog on the cruises, decided that he wanted to try and take the title of Golden Goose away from me, and he got pretty dang close. I'll give him that. Like, do you see that expression? He more animated than I am, and plus he's got facial hair. I can't do that, so he's already there, a lot more trustworthy than I am. But yeah, they went out to Shanghai Disney, and they stayed at the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel, which is a beautiful Art Nouveau style kind of resort, and it pretty much, your room faces towards the park, so it's just absolutely breathtaking. And from everything that he went through there, he said it was just completely different than anything we have here domestically. And you can look at that grinning face over there. He was just so happy to be there. If you can get aside from the pretty much 20 plus hours of traveling to get out there and the massive time change, and get adjusted to the time, then you're going to have a great time, because it is a massive park. And if there's one thing China knows how to do out there, is they know how to go big or go home, because that place is massive. Seeing all the videos and all that stuff, it is just simply incredible. So yeah, big tip of the hat to Rex. And he did say that he's like, gee, I'm sorry you couldn't come, but next time you're coming out there with me. I'm like, let's do it, and then we'll go to Hong Kong too while we're at it. So it's on my list of things to do in the next few years, when Ariel becomes a doctor and everything like that. Boom, she can have me. She send me on a little boys trip for the weekend, so she can have some peace and quiet.
Your sugar mama, that's for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
yes, indeedy.
I know Rex definitely filed some reports for us, and I suppose this is now officially the space where we welcome our international blogger for the Kingdom Report, Rex Moats. There he is. He is here.
I need
for
you to
us,
send me that. He'll add that to his LinkedIn profile.
This is Rex, and he will be stampeding through Disneyland Shanghai here for us today to share just a couple of very interesting spaces he came across while he was there. The first of which, as I understand it, Garrett, happened to be Disneytown. Now, when we take a look at the large map of Shanghai, for those who haven't been there, which I assume is the majority,
I would say at least 98% of our viewers have never been there. Maybe even 99%.
This is a giant park for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Disneytown, located here in the bottom left-hand section of the map, is outside of the theme park, it looks like. And we'll dive into that, but I wanted to share that Rex filed his first reports from just outside in Disneytown on his way to the park. Let's listen.
We are not going in the front entrance right now. We are going in the entrance that is special for VIPs, people that stay at Disneyland Hotel, Shanghai, a special umbrella. They know who we are. And we're going to go to a back entrance that's over here by Tron. So, continuing on the special edition of the Kingdom Report, we're going to call it the Garrett Hastel Birthday Edition. Listening to a little Madonna going in the background. See if we can't continue to educate our friends on the Kingdom Report that may want to visit Shanghai Disney someday. It's an almost religious experience. It is absolutely phenomenally well done. Everything is perfect. There's no trash. There's no graffiti. It is, I think, the essence of what a Disney park was meant to be. So from that matter, here we are heading up the hill. Wolfgang Park. Mickey, Donald's. Yeah. Got your stuff? Ready to go? Our special entrance.
So we got to take a peek there at the Disney Town area. Very reminiscent, I would say, of Disney Springs, yeah?
Yeah. Over in China, not everything translates directly to what we have here as, I'd say, Western consumers. So they need to change some things over there. And, Disney Springs, downtown Disney doesn't have the same meaning, but Disney Town, simple and easy. And, it conveys the idea that, hey, this is a fun shopping center in Disney. It's a little town. So yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. I was amazed to see no trash. It looks completely clean, ready to go. And there's Skechers and all these other Wolfgang Pucks. And apparently the best thing or the busiest restaurant that they have on property is the Cheesecake Factory. That's what he told me. And he was like, Cheesecake Factory was packed 24/7.
An American delicacy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, when in Rome, you go to the Cheesecake Factory. And he was just, from all the videos, because, I do not remember the time difference, but it was significant to where I think I spoke to him at 10 o'clock at night and it was 7 a.m. for him. So it's a good 12 hour, they were a day ahead. So getting to show me some of the stuff was, hard to do. We had to really orchestrate anything, but yeah, he went out there during my birthday weekend and I didn't. So thank you, Rex, for going out there and showing me a preview of what I'll get to experience when I go out there, because I'm pumped. I remember watching the grand opening for this when it came out in 2015. And I was on YouTube and it was 2 a.m. and they were doing this. And then seeing them build it on the Imagineering story, just it's something I want to see this park so badly, because it was, the first time they did something in mainland China, and nothing domestically is that scale at all.
Absolutely. And, he mentioned having that exclusive access into the park via their own entrance because they were staying at the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel. So that seems to me, like a pretty nice perk. Was that something that he took advantage of the whole time he was there? Was he always using that? I guess maybe it was like a side entrance?
Oh, wholeheartedly. So when you stay at any of the Shanghai Disney resorts, so there's the Toy Story Hotel or there is the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel, and essentially they have special character dining that's only for the hotel people. They have special playrooms, and then they have these amazing accommodations where the side entrance that you get to enter through Disneytown, instead of the front entrance where there might be a crowd, he gets to go in from the side, get a little bit ahead of everyone. And also they had, a shuttle that they would go from the resort to there instead of having to, walk like normal people. They got to go through there and they got that special treatment. But when you are, paying a higher fee and you're staying at these nicer hotels, it's amazing that we don't do that out here, despite it being, $800 to stay at Art of Animation, and you're still treated like nothing. But over there, you really are treated like a celebrity, and it's quite an amazing experience. As Rex told me, Disneytown is pristine. It's amazing. But yeah, the side entrance is quite spectacular. And it's just easier to get around. Of course, you can always go through the main entrance, but why not use the special access if you have it? It's like when you stay at the Grand Cal, you want to use that side entrance into DCA rather than going through the front. It just makes it easier for you, less headache, and makes your experience more magical.
Might as well, that's for sure. And I know that he was also taking us on over to the new Zootopia ride area, showing us some of that pre-show, which certainly sounds like it was all done in Chinese, which I think is fascinating. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Garrett, this is Zootopia, 50 minutes. Redline Moats is over here.
什么？在哪儿？白墙旅馆的公司。把所有行员都派到冰川站。万一他们搞砸了，你们俩要负责。现在上警车，取下背包，上车后尽量甭离座，拿些物品放在脚下。没有和你在闹不成。我不担心啊。重启。刘局长，我们知道他名在哪儿了。什么？在哪儿？白墙旅馆的公司。把所有警员都派到冰川镇。万一他们搞砸了，你们俩要负责。现在上警车，取下背包，上车后尽量往里坐，拿件物品放在脚下，全体坐稳后拿下安全压杠，出发。立刻。
I think it's hilarious to listen to that, and also to see your sister-in-law there, Madeline, just kind of taking it in, because obviously she had no idea what was being said, right?
Yeah.
Just like...
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, my father-in-law went to China, and on the rides they speak in Chinese. So yeah, it's definitely different. But going through the queue, there's some things in English, then there's some things in Chinese, and it's just kind of different. And then on the actual attraction, there's no English whatsoever. When you go to Disney Paris, on those attractions, you have a mixture of English and French, just because they have a strong European and American base out there, but that visit. But here, this is pretty much, it's just people from around China that are coming to visit this park. Because it's, this is the major attraction out there. And yeah, you really do not know what's going on. If you have a guide or, back at their hotel, they could talk to the cast members and be like, hey, so we got a little bit of the story, but what are they actually saying, kind of thing. And that's in any attraction. And they would just tell them, this is pretty much what it says. Granted, Disney is so good at storytelling that you don't really need to necessarily always understand the words to get an understanding of what's going on. It's a feeling, and also the visuals are just great. You can get that, you're in a police briefing, there's something going on, someone broke out because they're wearing criminal police outfits and all that stuff. So you even if you can't hear it, you can kind of get the gist of it. And he said that Zootopia Hot Pursuit, that's the name of the ride, and what a dope name that is. He said that attraction is absolutely incredible, and how you're driven around, you're following Nick and Judy as they're running around trying to catch, the little sheep that got away, the one who was the main villain in the Zootopia movie all along. So yeah, he said the area was amazing. The audio animatronics are state of the art, and you have Clawhauser at the front eating his donuts, and then you might even get to dance with Gazelle.
Whoa, lots of opportunities for magic to be had. Where does this Zootopia ride sit? And from there, it looks like we're about to head to the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Shanghai version. So from leaving Zootopia and going to Winnie the Pooh, where are these two locations on the map?
Yeah, so the park it's not laid out traditionally like you would see Magic Kingdom. As you can see, Tomorrowland is on the left-hand side, while on all the domestic parks on the right-hand side. So you enter the park, and then you see where Treasure Cove is. You essentially hike up that way at an angle, and so it is between Fantasyland and Treasure Cove. It's really north of Fantasyland in its own little kind of corner tucked away. On this map, it's not really it's not seen, but if you see where that little mountain is, that is Seven Dwarfs Mine. It is directly above that in its own little area. And then you go to, if you want to, hang out with Winnie the Pooh and go on the Honey Pot Spin, you would just head a little bit south, and you can kind of see it's number 59 right there. That is Honey Pot Spin. And that is where you get to dance around with your boy, Winnie the Pooh. He does love himself some good honey, and Wednesdays are very windy.
Always very windy. So the Honey Pot Spin is where we're heading next. Let's see what that attraction is like, both from queue and interior perspective.
Hello, I'm here. For your safety, Watch your step when you get on. Oh, 宝贝。就是为这个万众宇宙我的上。稍等等。我是豆豆腐，来，我们一起唱。跳起来太棒了！
I'll tell you that outside looked like Walt Disney World to me. It felt like
the
Disney World queue.
Oh yeah, a lot of similarities are around the parks. Just because if you get someone like us, you know, we want to see something that is going to be, you know, something that we're used to. But also a lot of, you know, for the longest time, until Hong Kong Disney came about, anyone from China that wanted to come over, they would go to Disneyland or they go to Walt Disney World. And so, you know, you want to have that easy recognition of things. And I love that they kept Jim Cummings' voice for Tigger, just because Tigger has such an iconic voice. You know that, you know Tigger because he has the lisp and all those other things. And yeah, even in that ride, you know, you're bouncing around, having some fun. And yeah, you get not one, but two you know, Winnie the Pooh ride. You get Honey Pot Spin, where it's like it's their teapots or their teacups, and you have the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So you know, Pooh gets a lot of love out there, which is simply awesome, because, you know, I think over here he's kind of forgotten about a little bit, or, you know, just not getting the love. Like Disneyland, he gets one little attraction and that's about it. So it's good to see Pooh getting some much needed love and attention.
That's for darn sure. Rex continues his exploration for us in Shanghai Disneyland. Garrett's father-in-law recently spent some time out there with, Garrett's new sister-in-law, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of them decided to jump all over this park, and they wanted to share some different dispatches from Shanghai just for us, which I appreciate so greatly. They were heading next to Treasure Cove. Talk to us about Treasure Cove a little bit and explain how that's different from other parks. Right? Not familiar with that domestically.
So yeah, domestically we have no Treasure Cove. So on the map, so first when you enter Shanghai Disney, there is no Main Street USA, just because, you know, over in China they wanted something uniquely there. So they have Mickey Avenue, and so you'd enter, hook a right, go around Adventure Isle, and you'd hit this area called Treasure Cove. And on the image on screen, you can see number 78, 82, 79, you know, that area, and you see a pirate ship. And this is an area completely dedicated to Pirates of the Caribbean. And the star of the entire land and the entire park, and probably the entire Disney company, is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean Battle of the Sunken Treasure that they have over there. And this is a huge attraction that Rex was just jaw-dropping the entire time. It is a massive attraction where, unlike traditional Pirates of the Caribbean, where, you know, the action's sort of happening around you, you are in it deeply, where the boat you're on, it rotates 360 degrees. You've got giant screens. You are going from, you know, sailing on, you know, smooth waters to dropping below the ocean, to then rising out of the ocean, to then having explosions and cannonballs and all this other stuff go off around you. And this area is just, it's so immersive with the music and the theming and the looks, and there's nothing else quite like it. You know, I'm a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fan, and so when he was sending me this stuff, I didn't want to look, because it was like heartbreaking to see him living out my dream. But it was so it was quite amazing to see, just, you know, Pirates getting its own land. That is amazing. There is enough, you know, I think there's enough out there for Pirates to have its own land, and then some. Pirates could honestly have its own park, because whether it's Captain Jack Sparrow, Will Turner, Davy Jones, Barbossa, you know, there could be something for everyone. A little kid zone maybe for the Monkey Jack. I'm down for that too.
Bring it on. Well, Rex certainly loved the area, and I know he also, in addition to exploring Treasure Cove and Pirates, he also sort of slid on into a street party that was happening just as he got outside of it. We'll take a look at all of that right now.
Okay, special edition of the Kingdom Report, Treasure Cove. Very, very nice. Certainly bigger than the one in Paris. We got our rowboats out here. Here's where they load them up. And we're on our way over to Pirates right now. Dead men tell no tales. Oh. Poor Pirate Pete was a pretty poor pirate. Here we go, once again, to the best pirates. It's unbelievable. Fascinating.
That's really And then who is that one?
Gotta say, Treasure Cove, pretty badass looking land. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
no, badass indeed. You know, we don't typically curse on the show, but badass is the only adjective that really expresses that. Like, I didn't even, you know, I've seen these videos a few times and going through it, but every time I catch little details more and more, like one of the islands is just completely skull shaped. It's just skull on top of skull on top of skull, and for me, it might be, you know, whatever to everyone else, but the font that they use for the attraction, you know, it's in the Chinese characters, but it looks so cool. You know, we're used to changing, you know, words in English here, making it themed to whatever, but to do that with Chinese characters, which are very strict in how, you know, one, you know, change could change the entire meaning of a word. It looks amazing. I want a poster of just the ride sign on there. And, you know, we didn't even show just how immense this attraction is, but like, dang, it is badass indeed. So yeah, great word of the day, Wade.
Yeah, I think it's fitting for Treasure Cove for sure. And, you know, it was about time for lunch for Rex, your father-in-law, your sister-in-law, Madeline. And it sounds like they went back to the hotel. Is that right?
Yeah. So for lunch, there is a fantastic place called Lumiere's, and that is at the hotel. And in Lumiere's, you know, you've got Mickey and the gang kind of wearing what Rex would call streetwear for them. You know, Mickey's not wearing his traditional tuxedo. When I first showed you this, you're like, what are they wearing? Like,
it's hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just over there, because like in Tokyo and Hong Kong and here in Shanghai, they just do things a little bit differently with the characters. The characters are beloved by people, even Duffy and friends, like you saw in that little street party. We don't see Duffy anywhere on the, you know, in the Western Hemisphere at all.
Certainly not with much fanfare if he does show up. Yeah.
Over there, it is, in a way, they are sometimes more popular than Mickey and the gang. But yeah, they're just in Lumiere's, and it's hard to see, very Art Nouveau style, but they've got little things here and there that make it look like, you know, like you're hanging with Lumiere, where you can see in the background little pot. It looks like, you know, the plates and the cups and all that. And it's just a calm lunch, and people dance around, and it's not quite as, you know, over here, you know, we go crazy. We dance for the characters. Over there, the characters are the stars. People want to watch the characters perform for them. And so it's a very, you know, it's a cultural thing out there. And I, for one, love Goofy's outfit. I'm digging the hoodie. I'm digging the hat. After being friends with him, you know, Goofy can be a little, you know, heavy-headed at times. So, and look at those kicks on Goofy. My gosh, like he's got like a pocket chain and all that. I'm digging it. So, and then Mickey's got a hat. So maybe the streetwear makes him look a little bit more, you know, I'd say more modern looking than the traditional stuff, but I can get behind it. It's cool that they have, more unique costumes over there and it's not the same old, same old.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I think it's terrific that they stopped off to have basically character dining where, kids were not bum rushing those characters like we often see in the domestic restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
Usually kids mob the characters in a dining setting, but here it just looked very reserved, and it actually looked like quite the relaxing lunch, like they really were just waiting for a performance to be done for them.
Oh, yeah, and he said that the attention to the food and detail, it was immaculate, and the quality of food ingredients, it was higher than what we have here. And we pay an arm and a leg, and they had traditional Chinese dishes, but then they also had Western style dishes there, and they even had it where, they had an egg, but inside it was Mickey Mouse shaped. I don't even know how you do a hard-boiled egg with Mickey Mouse. Either they added, if they can grow eggs like that, then hats off to them, grow eggs. But yeah, he was just, the entire time he was there, he found so many different things that just made that park higher elevated in his mind. And it made him want to keep learning more because they just were doing things differently. But it was just a breath of fresh air for someone who's so used to what we have here, domestically. Shanghai Disney definitely upped the game to a whole different level. The ante wasn't even there. It was, the top was like, it's hard to even, just him explaining it to me and having to explain to you and the viewers. It's hard because that park is still new, but everything they do is they're trying to enhance it every single time because they are trying to keep that consumer market constantly going there. And, even on Drizzly Day, people were excited running around the park and having fun.
Well, you talk about how the park is new, but they're still, pushing the envelope. You're absolutely right. And in recent years, they've certainly grown into different realms of the park, right? They've added some spaces, some of that being Toy Story Land. Another space has been the Marvel Universe, all of which Rex is about to enjoy himself in person for the first time. Let's go ahead and take a look.
This one seems to be bigger. Okay, here we are in Tomorrowland, Shanghai style. It actually looks like a real Tomorrowland. Tron. And Buzz Lightyear, that is actually an incredible upgrade from what we have in Florida. Boom. We're at the Marvel meet and greet area. Spider-Man. Captain America.
And something that stands out to me, Garrett, is he goes through the park here, sort of land by land. The only time I really saw much of a crowd happened to be when, of course, that street party was happening, when I would expect to see a crowd. But everywhere else he's been has been relatively quiet.
Yeah, so with him and Madeline walking around, there were people in the park. Like, it was not, as I'd say, as congested as what we have in, say, Magic Kingdom, where it almost feels like you want to push people out of the way because there's so many people around. People were very cognizant of space over there, giving plenty of space. And on top of that, I think the longest ride was the Zootopia, 50 minutes. Other than that, everything was less than 30 minutes. And they still had a sizable crowd, and they had, still action-packed. And this was, early March. So maybe come summertime, it gets a little bit more busy. But, yeah, there really wasn't anything that was too insane in terms of wait times. And people were very polite, very clean. The cast members kept everyone going. And it just was like taking what we have here, flipping it upside down, and he absolutely loved it. And I loved how when he walked into Tomorrowland, he was like, wow, it actually looks like a real Tomorrowland. And we joke about that all the time. We did that earlier today, and how then when this part came out, this Tomorrowland still looks futuristic. Maybe it's the curves and the shininess of it, but it doesn't look like some hodgepodge thing that was made up. Maybe it's because, when they built it, they're like, we've run into the issue of Tomorrowland always looking like it's in the past. Let's try and do something that actually makes it look futuristic. And yeah, but the Buzz Lightyear Planet Rescue, it's all completely, active screens moving around. It's not like what we have here, where it's sort of like the old school carnival pop-up games. And Tron out there is called Tron Light Cycle Power Run, but it's pretty much the same exact one of ours, except it's just completely in Chinese. And then the other area that he didn't show us, like they do have like an Astro Order, but it's called Jetpack, where you're on a jetpack and it leans around, and they have amazing water shows, fountains, and all this other art that looks very futuristic-y. And the Marvel Universe over there, it's amazing how we can't have Marvel at Walt Disney World, the world's busiest tourist a destination, but over there they have it, and it's just inside a giant dome. But hey, hats off to them. They make it work, and I think they're going to do more with Marvel out there in the coming years, just because you need to always evolve and expand. But they are taking the IP out there. People love seeing all these different things, meeting all these different characters, whether it's Spider-Man, Thor. I do not know if Captain America is out there, but still, you get to see all these cool characters. Spider-Man to me is always going to be a top tier, just because Spider-Man is Spider-Man. He is an amazing superhero character, and how can you not love Tom Holland?
You gotta love the guy. I know that when they entered, they came through that sort of side entrance that was Disney Town, and so they missed Mickey Avenue in the beginning, but they venture their way over to Mickey Avenue now, which, of course, as you were mentioning here a second ago, is their version in Shanghai of Main Street USA, right? So it's a little bit more of a, I guess, to me, it seems like perhaps Toontown meets Main Street USA, I guess is the best way.
That would be a fair assessment
based on what I saw. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. And they venture from Mickey Avenue to Imagination Gardens. Tell us, just in terms of the sort of entry of the park as we see on the map here, you see Mickey Avenue right down there towards the bottom where it says entrance exit, and Mickey Avenue is just on top of it. That is the route that goes in towards the castle like you would see in a traditional Disney Magic Kingdom. But there's a Gardens of Imagination beyond a Mickey Avenue. Why the differences? What is different here?
Well, so it comes down to the culture of the entire place. And Main Street USA is very Americana, and they do that in all the domestic parts, Disneyland and Disney World. But over in China, they wanted it to be distinctly Disney, uniquely Chinese. Or I believe that's what Bob Iger said when they were making this park. And so Mickey Avenue is supposed to be just an area where, like you said, a lot of Disney characters, Toontown-esque, but also, they've got Carthay Circle Theater. And so it's just their version of Main Street, just not called Main Street. And in there they have character meet and greets, shopping, but the shopping is not as, I'd say, extravagant or lucrative as it is out here. Rex was saying how over there the merchandise is quite limited. They do not have a ton of shirts. They don't have a ton of things to wear. What they do have a ton of is plushes, accessories like hats. They even have a little accessory for you clip it on your belt, and then when you take off your ears, you can latch it around there, almost like a key latch kind of thing. So that way your ears you don't just have to shove it in a bag and they get all beat up. They can hang on you. And even the way that the guest dress out there is very posh compared to what we have here, where it's very activewear. Over there, people are a little bit more dressy. But then once you make it through, Mickey Avenue, you head into, the hub, but it's not the hub out there. For there, it is, as you said, the Gardens of Imagination. This is a place where families can sort of hang out and do different things, whether you are looking at the castle or you're riding on a carousel, or, being Chinese, you can see the Garden of the 12 Friends, which references the Chinese zodiac, all the different animals. Personally, I'm a rooster. And you think, and the cool thing about this Garden of the 12 Friends, you think of, okay, animals, whatever. No, they take Disney animals and make sure it's applied in there. And you're like, what? And so, for the rabbit, it might be Judy Hopps from Zootopia. For the rooster, what rooster does Disney even have? And you have to go all the way back to Robin Hood, because the one at the beginning that's playing the guitar, Robin Hood, Little John going through the forest, oodle oodle golly, what day? That is the icon for the rooster. And when I saw that, I'm like, that is so cool and clever and creative. So they do different things out there, and the gardens are quite beautiful and amazing. And you see, this area includes Dumbo. Like, Dumbo's always in Fantasyland, but not here. He's in the Gardens of Imagination, and it's such a picturesque area, and it's really spread out. I think it has to do with the feng shui, or the balance and the harmony that the park has with the Chinese people, and wanting to have an area where grandma and grandpa can sit back, have some tea, relax, and do different kinds of things, because they do have a tea house. They have all these other areas where it's just, why don't you sit back, relax, enjoy the atmosphere. And yeah, there's no place, I think, any other Disney park that's quite like this. This is a one of a kind spot, and it looked amazing from all the other stuff, because even the stuff I sent you, that's not even a fraction of what he had, because he has all these other pictures and stuff. Like, thousands of photos were taken, and yeah, the whole park in general is amazing. But Gardens of Imagination truly look like a place where you could spend all day looking at all like the little intricacies here and there that truly make it a one of a kind location and spot in the park.
Well, let's go to Rex on the ground to see these things firsthand.
In there. Here we are, the special edition of the Kingdom Report. We're in what's called Mini Main Street here at the town square. No curbs, no one can trip over stuff. Beautiful trees like we have in Germany, European style, where they get trimmed back every year. And here we have Gusteau over here. Pineapple. Journal. And wow, the hydrangeas.
We need to get some.
Unbelievable. And of course, Club 33.
It's like 8.
Here we are, headed up to dinner in the castle on this foggy day. It's not really cold, it's just kind of misty, a little bit of light rain. Beautiful hub area here. Lots of opportunities for pictures and Instagram photos. They really did a nice job of making this very picturesque, very usable for all of the people that are here. So they preserved the front facade of the castle for everyone to be able to see, and they've added many different elements of flowers, of color, of greenery, of fencing, railing, all kinds of texture here to take photos with. As you can see, many people are enjoying the opportunity to do that, as well as a mini EPCOT area here. Looks like the roses will be in full bloom in a matter of time. And there's just a lot of places to sit. It's probably the most usable space that I have seen of the 4 different parks I've been to, save Hong Kong and Tokyo. So definitely worth the time and effort to get here. It's a long ride, but in a couple days you're back to normal again and enjoying it how they would.
Fascinating to look at, and no doubt a ton of space there in the central sort of what would be the hub, right? Anywhere else in a Magic Kingdom. As he's approaching the castle, that castle obviously looks very different. He said they're about to head to dinner inside the castle. Yeah. This is not like anybody else's castle. Tell us about the Shanghai Disneyland castle.
So you go to any other park, every castle is named after a princess, whether it's Sleeping Beauty, a Cinderella. This is called the Enchanted Storybook Castle, and what it is a work of art. Truly, there's no castle that truly matches it in terms of grandeur, beauty, size, theming. It has all these different spires, and it's supposed to be for all the princesses together, not just one, but everyone from Ariel, Cinderella, Moana, Mulan, Tiana, everyone's included in this castle. And it has multiple layers and multiple stories to where, not only is it a centerpiece when there's a fireworks spectacular, but also there is dining inside. And that is where Rex went for dinner. And they have patios and areas that you can walk on and sit in front of. They even inside of this castle, there is the Royal Banquet Hall. That's where they ate. But you have Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, Once Upon a Time Adventure, other picture moments, and you can walk up to this thing from 4 different ways, either from Gardens of Imagination or from Fantasyland. Or from Toy Story Land. You can just walk up here, and then behind it, there you even have, you can see the little canal, and that is for Voyage to the Crystal Grotto. So yeah, this castle is, if you want to call it a beast, you can, but I feel like that does not do it justice. It really is a architectural work of art, and it's just like he FaceTimed me and showed Ariel and I this, and we were like, what in the world? It just looked like it went on forever up to the heavens. And from this picture, you can actually see that the color grading goes from a dark color at the bottom to a light color at the top. So they also use forced perspective in the colors to make it look even larger and taller from far away. From their hotel, it looks massive. Up close, even more massive. And yeah, I was jelly, to say the least. I was raspberry jelly.
Now, this definitely looks like the type of castle that they feature in the Walt Disney Pictures opening. This looks like that castle, in fact, right? This looks like the combination of everybody else's castles.
Yeah, it's pretty close to the opening, castle that we get in there, but they found out it's not. This is, this is Shanghai's own unique castle. But yeah, this is close to that castle as you're going to get, where if it puts all the other castles to shame. And just looking at that spire, it just goes on forever. And then it's hard to see, but at the top, that is the classic 32 karat gold that all the Disney castles have on the spires. But they have a flower that actually represents China up there, so that way that is a special castle just for them, and no one can ever replicate it. And it's a one-off work of art.
Incredible. Well, it is time for dinner as your father-in-law, Rex, your sister-in-law, Madeline, both approach the Enchanted Storybook Castle for the first time. Let's take a look.
Headed up the hill with my Princess Madeline. Nice wide walkway. Gorgeous castle. Nice entertainment system. Access across the castle, not through the middle. They're doing shows in the very front. They've done a really good job of redesigning this in an effort to make the castle accessible here. We're going to go check in now to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. It's here. And Royal Dinner is over here. All right, let's go to dinner. Oh yeah. Oh wow, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
from our chef.
Oh, so you're gonna join us? And it's M5 beef shop ribeye. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
This is beautiful.
And the okay, are you ready? Madeline, how was your day? Rate it.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you vlogging? It was a 10.
This is a 10. Did you get that? A 10.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
You're welcome. Okay, she's.
Wow.
Don't you want to go there already?
I do, and Madeline may be tired of the vlogging by the end of the day, but certainly gave it a 10, and thrilled with her experience.
Yeah, vlogging, it's not everyone's bag, but oh, sorry, you had cut out for a moment on my end.
Oh, no, it's, I was just saying, yeah, she gave it a 10. She seemed to love it herself. Tell me, I guess in retrospect here, obviously we're so grateful that Rex shared dispatches from Shanghai during his first trip for us. But in terms of what he told you about the overall experience, about, I guess getting there, coming back, it's a long haul. Ultimately, how's he feeling now having been there?
So I asked him earlier today in preparation for this, I need your rating and everything like that. And he was looking for a scale. And I said, just do classic, A+ through F range. And it took him a second because, there's so many things going on, whether it's the cultural differences or the time change or, just he said weather aside, the weather wasn't even that bad. It was just a little misty, but not actually cold. He gave that resort an A-, and
wow.
And for him, he is very critical when it comes to Disney. He's been going there for years. That's why when we go on cruises, he's critical of everything because, you're spending time, money, and effort to enjoy these things. You want to get your money's worth out of it. And he said that it was an A-, and that's just because he probably needed more time to do more things out there. And the only major downgrade was the merchandise. Us being Americans, we love having shirts that have, Disney characters on them that say, Walt Disney World, what we experience when we go to, World of Disney in Disney Springs or downtown Disney, that he was expecting more of that. But because there was just a little lack of merchandise and mainly just ears and accessories, that's the only reason why it was not an A+. He said, the treasure, Battle for the Sunken Treasure was the highlight of the entire trip. They went on it multiple times. The castle is incomparable. And, you just really cannot. It's the fireworks show had Marvel, had Disney characters, had Pixar. And, from this view, you can just see just how massive this place is. And there's still room for them to grow into expanding the park. I don't know if they'll ever do a second park, but they have room to keep adding more land to that experience that you're seeing right there. So yeah, he gave it overall an A-, and that he puts it higher ranked than any domestic park overall. He said that it's that one park is better than all of Disney World combined. And that is a tough thing to say, especially considering you've got 4 parks. He said that one is better than the 4. That castle is 200 feet tall and it has room in there for so much more. Their royal banquet hall where they ate was better than, you go into Cinderella's royal table. And, the food looked amazing. You had the chef come out there, pour the sauce, and you had the staff around them. Granted, they, they were staying at the Shanghai Disney Hotel, so they had a little bit more status, but still the attention to detail and the quality of ingredients and food and the atmosphere just beat everything. You look at things around Walt Disney World and you're seeing the cracks, you're seeing the paint chip out there. Everything was pristine. They're constantly updating and changing things because the weather out there is slightly different, but you need to keep that going because if you are a new park like that, you need to keep that steady guest flow going in there. So yeah, Rex said it was amazing. And the only parks that could probably go toe to toe with that would be, the OG Disneyland, but that castle beats out Disneyland's and every other castle by miles and leagues. Maybe the Disneyland Paris castle is more beautiful, but this is just more spectacular. This is more incredible. So yeah, it was even hard for him to put a true, overall vote on it just because it's it's more of a feeling than a way to explain things. But he said A- for the entire experience. While some attractions were whatever, he said that the overall was just an amazing experience, and that he wants to go back again, and that they are so far ahead in the future, not only in the country but also just in the parks in terms of entertainment value, pyrotechnics and all the special effects, that it puts us here to shame. And Walt would be proud of what they built out there. That's what he said. And yeah, he really looks forward to going back there. And I hope to, when I go out there, to take you all along in a vlog, so that way you can experience it firsthand in a deeper dive. And yeah, so thank you, Rex and Madeline, for sharing this adventure with me. And yeah, Wade, I'm thinking team retreat in Shanghai. While we're there, we might as well do a Disney cruise from like Vancouver to Alani, and then go from Hawaii to Tokyo, and then Tokyo to Shanghai. We'll just do it like a week-long thing, and nothing too major, right?
A week long? That's a month. That takes a little bit longer than a week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it takes a week to get to Hawaii alone if we were to do it by ship. But no, I think it's fantastic to hear that he is heaping such high praise on the overall experience. I think having been around the block a few times like he has, especially having been exposed to all of the various parks, all of the various properties, he's been able to witness these things firsthand himself, and to say that this one property is better than all 4 of the theme parks of Walt Disney World. Oh my, that is a very high level of entry, I guess we could call it, for the sake of, boy, if you want to start somewhere, you might want to start right here.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to Shanghai Disneyland.
Yeah, it's just every element of this place was the highest tier it could possibly be, from the moment that they were greeted at the hotel to, the staff and cast members, just being so welcoming. And, they were not just for them, but for everyone else. A good amount of the cast members out there spoke both English and Chinese. So it wasn't that hard to communicate in certain circumstances, or if you couldn't find someone, they could easily go locate someone who could translate. So that way, you could have, these intercultural communications. But yeah, it's an amazingly beautiful park, and I was blessed that he got me back a awesome sweatshirt. He said, I don't know if it's going to fit. They said that this might work, and I have this cool sweatshirt of like Donald, but it's not Donald as we know him. Donald is wearing a hoodie and has on a beanie. Going back to like, how you just laugh at how they don't wear the traditional outfits out there. Maybe that's just funny. Not the cool thing, but I think their costumes out there, while they are different, are really cool. I just can't imagine Fantasmic Mickey going out there in like, a normal hat and like with a hoodie and doing finger boom. Like, it doesn't look like that, but out there it works. And, I played the Kingdom Hearts video games. This looks like how they dress in there, which is kind of street style. And I'm for it. Mickey, do your thing. You are the boss. No one tells you how to dress. You dress yourself, whether that's old school Steamboat Willie with, just shorts and a hat, or this ensemble with a hoodie, with the checkered hat, do it. But yeah, it's a different experience altogether. And I want to go experience it myself. The food looked incredible. They had special popcorn and all these other things. And, I want to go out there and really check it out. And it's been a lot of fun talking about this, and they just do such a different thing out there. But it's really sort of, glass shattering to see it, because you're like, is that a real place? But yes, it is. And hats off to the Imagineers that came up with this place. Clearly, when you do not have to worry about a budget, you can make amazing things happen.
Makes a big difference for sure. I think overall, just knowing, I guess, how much more sort of value is placed on you as a visitor, as you mentioned, if you happen to stay at a place like Shanghai Disneyland Hotel, right? It sounds like there's a lot of precedent placed upon you as a VIP just for staying on property with them. That's really neat to hear.
Yeah, you definitely get more. You get a higher value out of your stay. And he showed me the ticket. It was a paper ticket, which was so refreshing to see because I missed the classic paper
How
tickets.
rare.
But he said for them it was less than $100 a day to get into the park, and we hear that and we're like, $100 for like a fast pass? No, that's $100 just to get in there. And like I think the most expensive part of their trip was the plane ticket out there and any kind of merch they brought back. But yeah, that place just they maybe it has to be the cultural aspect of it, but Mickey and the gang are beloved out there. The castle and the park are beloved. And come summertime, everyone's going there, bringing out their families, having a great time. And you see a giant Donald Duck floating in the lagoon out there wearing his traditional outfit. That's the only time you'll see Donald wearing his traditional sailor outfit. But I want a giant inflatable Donald Duck in the middle of EPCOT. Or could you imagine that outside the front of Magic Kingdom out in Seven Seas Lagoon? That'd be great. So
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great, fantastic vacation. He said he had a blast other than the jet lag and being completely exhausted. He said it was, he was in awe, and that the gardens over there and the plants and all the just colors are just so amazing. And it looked like the park was built yesterday and not, almost 10 years ago.
Well, it's so neat to have heard it from him firsthand in his various dispatches from the ground there, to also hear it through you, sort of a proxy for him, and sharing a lot of what he has passed along from his journey on over to you and the rest of the family. And yeah, who knows, maybe in short order we will be able to experience a little bit more of Shanghai Disneyland in the near future. As we head that direction, or as you head that direction first, we'll see.
Yeah, I look forward to it, and I appreciate being the proxy. And next time, I'll be sure to give you firsthand feedback from my experience out there. And maybe if we find a special mug for someone to toast with, I'll bring one back as a giveaway.
I like that idea. Yes, that could make a big difference in overall viewership too. I think get that Shanghai merch. That's exclusive.
I've got a keychain from there. I've got a keychain of the Donald Duck that was floating in the lagoon out there, and that is my most prized possession right now. And people are like, "Why do you have a rubber ducky on there?" I'm like, "That's Donald Duck." And they're like, "Where'd you get it from?" I'm like, "China." I was like, "No, that's not where it was made." I'm like, "Well, yes, it was made in China, but no, it's also from Shanghai Disney." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Never mind. It's not worth the effort."
This is the spot. Yes, right. This
it
is
is.
Where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was birthed.
So
right.
Yeah, let's go. And they also don't have a train station out there like all the other parks. You walk in there, it's just a sort of icon building that you walk through as you enter the park. There's no train station. Kind of sad because we both love trains, especially at that twilight hour when the lights come on. But with a park that has everything else, they can let a little train ride go away.
I suppose that is true. Well, it has been such a joy getting to know Shanghai Disneyland through the eyes of your father-in-law, Rex. Again, send along a special thanks to him from all of us for being able to tag along in his journey for the first time to Shanghai Disneyland. And can you believe it? Just about 2.5 hours in. I cannot even believe that we've gone this long, but certainly making up for lost time, as I like to say, since we haven't been around for a while. It is our pleasure to be able to do that for you. And thanks, Garrett, for sticking with us. I know Katrina had to take off here just as we were transitioning over to Rex's Shanghai journey. And I know she would have loved to have seen Rex on the body of Rex the dinosaur.
Don't worry, we can share it in the group chat. But no, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to get reunited on the show, but also talk about Rex and Madeline's adventure. And boom, that is Rex. He is, the one and only dinosaur that we have on this show. And yeah, he's our new international correspondent until I can step up to the game. So I better get to it soon enough.
Clearly, you need to step it up. Absolutely. But no, again, we're very thankful for him and for all of your time here today. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to being back with you. Yes, it's true, again next week. So join us 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. We will be back once more for an all-new Kingdom Report Live. Garrett, you take care of yourself.
Thanks, and you too, Wade.